Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Phantom Forces Gun Breakdowns, where I give a full-blown analysis of every gun in the game from rank 0 and onward. Today we're going to be talking about the rank 0 carbine, the M4A1. If you haven't seen the previous episode on the Colt LMG, I recommend you go do that, but if you're new here and just wanted to check this out first, that's alright too. But with all that being said, let's get this analysis started, shall we? Starting with some fun facts, the M4A1, or the M4 carbine, is an American assault rifle that was designed in 1982 and is the automatic and shortened version of the M16A2. It is by far one of the most common and most well-recognized weapons in the United States military, thanks to its great modularity, ergonomics, and affordability. And one more thing I find interesting is that in real life, the weapon has a 950 RPM fire rate and a muzzle velocity of 2,900 feet per second compared to its much lower stats in game. This is probably due to game balancing, but just imagine what it would look like if the M4A1 had its IRL stats in game. But yeah, pretty small amount of fun facts, honestly, because this is literally just the most standard epitome of the word gun. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the in-game stats. The M4A1 is another one out of the 5 primary weapons that are unlocked at rank 0. It does 34 max damage out to 35 studs and down to 19 min damage out to 120 studs, making this a 3 to 6 shot kill. Unfortunately, this weapon's min damage is quite low compared to other assault rifles and carbines, so it really pushes you to use this in close range only. There are also no special head or torso multis on this gun as well. We have a fire rate of 780 RPM, which is pretty good. The second fastest fire rate out of the primaries behind the MP5K. The magazine size is 30, standard for most weapons in this game. Now moving on to the advanced stats. The muzzle velocity sits at 2200, which for most assault rifles and carbines is slightly below average. I like to think the average is around 2500, but yeah, this really does show how CQC oriented this thing is. Penetration is 1 stud, which again, average for its class. Now talking about the handling, it's pretty good actually. The reload is decent with a 2-second tactical reload and a 2.4-second empty reload. ADS speed's pretty good. The walk speed is also pretty good. God damn, that voice crack.
You're weird!
And this could be even better with the retract or remove stock. Now onto the recoil, and first using it without attachments, it's not too bad. It has somewhat of a high initial kick after the first shot, but then it stays very leveled out and mostly having vertical recoil and some minor horizontal recoil. Again, this is another weapon that is very friendly towards new players, as it has a very easy to learn recoil pattern. But if you still want some attachments, you're in luck, because this weapon is very modular and has a ton of options for you. But what I personally like to use is the TA44 ACOG, but you could use any optic you want. The T-brake, stubby grip, tri-laser, and the 25-45 sharps conversion, which I'll get to later. Or as you've seen, I really like the T-brake and the stubby grip. I mean, how can you not? I mean, reducing overall recoil is great. But anyway, now as you can see with these attachments, the recoil is still very low, and overall it has a much better grouping. It still has that high first initial kick, but it doesn't come up as high as before. But if you can't get those attachments, some low kill ones like a delta sight, compensator, angle grip, green laser work good as well. You know, now that I think about it, am I literally gonna have to say those exact 4 attachments every single time I mention this section? This weapon does have a carbine barrel, but honestly, why would you use it? It just overall makes your weapon worse. I'm moving on. Screw you, carbine barrel. As far as ammo types go, we do have the 223 Remington ammo, just like the Colt LMG, and what this does is give you lower recoil, but at the cost of overall worse damage and worse muzzle velocity. I suggest you don't use this at all, as you lose out on that 3-shot kill up close, and you have even more pitiful min damage, along with worse muzzle velocity, as if this gun didn't already have that. I guess you could use AP as well, as it makes the penetration up to 1.3 studs, but just make sure to hit those torso shots. Moving on to conversions, we do have the same conversions as the Colt LMG, the first being the 6.5 Grendel. What this does is give you overall greater damage and damage ranges and more pen, but at the cost of slightly less ammo, lower RPN, and absolutely awful recoil. Because of that alone, you probably should not use this conversion and just use AP if you want more pen. Then we also have the 25-45 sharps conversion I mentioned earlier, and what this does is give you more muzzle velocity, more pen, greater reload times and handling, and lower recoil, and only at the cost of losing 10 rounds per mag. I definitely recommend you use this conversion, as generally having greater handling gives you a huge advantage, as this is a very movement based shooter game. Be careful though, as you probably can't pick off as many targets before having to reload. As far as how you should use the M4A1, think of this as an AK-12 but designed to be used in close quarters. Its very short max damage range, along with its very low min damage and its slightly below average muzzle velocity, really forces you to get up close to avoid its downsides getting in your way. It can definitely go face to face with most assault rifles, LMGs, and even other carbines thanks to its 780 RPM, and is generally a great type of run and gun weapon with its fast reload and pretty good handling. But against PDWs or shotguns, you may struggle to fight against these. Now be careful though, as you may struggle on maps like Warehouse or Metro, where there's lots of cover, as snipers and LMGs can easily kill you behind walls and you cannot. The 25-45 sharps conversion does allow you to be more aggressive and mobile, and can definitely benefit you in 1v1 situations, but against crowds you may just want to run. But in general, the M4A1 is just a very balanced, easy to use, jack of all trades CQC automatic weapon that is great on most maps. But as for my overall opinion, I really like the M4A1. It's actually my highest kill carbine with a little over 800 kills, and that's because for some reason I can always guarantee success while using it. Again, it's very good in CQC and has great recoil, and I'd say it is probably the best medium range weapon of choice. It can outgun most weapons, and its handling is great. Even against big groups of enemies, you can clear whole rooms with this weapon. It feels just so nice and easy to use, and just really hard not to go wrong with it. And for that reason, out of 10, I'm going to give the M4A1 a 9.5 out of 10, which means that yes, I like it better than the MP5K, and I think it's the best rank 0 gun in the game. Again, this is just my opinion, but I think this weapon is just perfect, just chef's kiss perfect. Okay, that's gonna be it for this episode. We have one more primary weapon to cover, that's the intervention, so we'll get to that in the next episode. But let me know what you guys think of the M4A1 down in the comments. And also, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and like the video, it's free. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.